up there, and we'd go up there sometimes and visit. And
Where it's cold.
yeah, it was cold. And pictures of the snow that was up to the windows, and stuff that they had. But
Wow.
it was from way up there. And you just feel like, aren't you glad that you lived somewhere else and you learn more about different parts of how things are different? How'd you end up in Florida?
My dad moved down here. Gino Palucci, this guy that made Gino's Pizza Rolls and Michelinas, it was like a pasta thing out of our hometown, moved his company down here, and that's the only reason that we even... And he started Heathrow. It's a neighborhood called Heathrow in Lake Mary.
Okay. It's close to where Kirsten lives.
And so... that's the only reason.
He started that whole neighborhood?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of like Richard's dad. Richard's dad came down when Disney started.
Mm-hmm.
And he painted. And Richard started out working with Disney like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's where he and Julia met, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, so when Richard retired, I don't know if it was, he didn't retire or whatever.
He did retire.
He did retire, but we went to the 25th anniversary of whatever. So when you work there for that long, they do a big shindig, right? And so he invited me, and so I went with him to, if it's 25 years, you're special.
Yeah, he's got like a little, I don't know, what is it, a mouse or something, little bronze thing, 25 years. And, yeah.
So you walk down the aisle and everyone's like, woo!
Wow.
Yeah. So I was there with him for that. So then he retired after that.
I can tell, just from knowing him since they were married and where he works, how much he learned from Disney. He would say, he worked at Arco where they make the plywood and stuff because he's doing electricals while he's doing that. But he said, now at Disney,
yes,
they would not have gotten away with that at Disney.
No, they're excellent.
Their standards were just
yes.
Yeah. But it's interesting how when Julia and them moved back to where you live, and then had to he had to find a job here and there, whatever. So,
yeah, he didn't, he retired early, but and he went up there to Arco and he was doing electrical. But every once in a while he'd come along with some little thing like, they what was it? One thing like they had some golf carts or something around in the building what to get around with, and there was a tire. He put he devised some kind of a gauge or whatever so that tire wouldn't blow up because people are forever overinflating them, and he's forever inventing some little thing.
That's awesome.
And he's just got that. He dreams these things. A lot of people dream these things. It's really weird. I dreamed last night.
And he invents something.
You're gonna patent that. No, I said, I don't know how to make the prototype or whatever. Yeah, somewhere to do it.
Yeah, seriously, wow.
But he worked over there, and that was, man, he was having to climb up on top of those big buildings. They made plywood, and they were off the railroad, so the railroad would bring the wood in and then lump it off, and then they would make plywood there, and he was just handling all these big fans and motors and saws and stuff, and of course it wasn't, they were kind of open buildings, so it was hot, and really, really hot.
I remember that.
Well, I remember that.
Yeah, they had
Sawdust.
Yeah, just
it was
like a rubber assembly line going around.
And then one of the Arco people went for a tube group, and then so Richard wanted to come down there and work. So, and right now he's working Monday through Thursday, and he's working, I guess, 10-hour days, 4 days a week. Loves his Fridays.
Oh yeah, who doesn't?
I need a Friday.
Yeah, you do, babe. Your Sunday is your Friday.
Yeah.
So, and really, your landscaping upkeep, that doesn't let up too much.
Lawn maintenance.
It's funny. People will say to me, "It's Labor Day." I'm like, Okay.
On Labor Day.
Grass does not stop growing. We're not the post office, you know. We can't. He has to work.
Speaking of Labor Day in the post office, I went to the post office Monday with a package to mail,
Juneteenth.
and I saw this big curtain thing was there, and I said, "What are you doing at the post office? It's not a federal holiday."
It is.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Last year I got made one. Yep. Because I asked Sydney, I'm like, when was Juneteenth made a federal holiday? And then I looked it up, and sure enough, last
I
year.
said, "Well, it's fine if we have Juneteenth,
Yeah.
but what does it got to do with the post office and the bank?"
I know, right? It shouldn't.
Just celebrate all you want to. I mean, so many holidays are so. I mean, look at Memorial Day. I mean, here we are. What do we do? We're supposed to be celebrating all these veterans who've given their life away.
Yeah.
So we go to the beach or, have
I
a
know.
cookout.
The meaning is gone. Yeah, it's true. Aw.
Oh, look at there.
Oh, it's cute.
Oh, it's timing me. I don't know why it's doing that.
Oh, you set the timer accidentally.
Yeah, Richard got started on that yesterday. He'd gone to the bank. He wanted to do something at the bank. He went to the bank Monday. Well, guess what we had for supper?
Oh, yeah. Something from leftovers. I mean, I appreciate, I love the holiday and what it stands for, but it's hard to get used to it. You know, it's a new thing.
Oh.
These phones.
You can do anything.
This is larger than mine. Yeah, mine is.
It's a computer right there.
Basically.
Okay, so that runs your work, right?
No, that's
She-
me.
She runs, she
Okay.
runs my work.
I'm the
actually.
brains, he's the brawn.
Well, what a team.
She runs my work. I used to run my work.
You cannot do that anymore. I don't even know how you did that.
I live in the office. I had to go in there every day.
He did, I guess, for a few years after we were married, he was doing the lawns, doing the financing, because he had done that when he was single. He was just used to it.
But then I rented out RVs, so I had we had a bunch of RVs.
Oh, I knew that.
Like your
yeah.
Jayco thing. Like Richard has the Jayco. Does he still have that trailer?
He does, yeah. He washed it a while ago. Pat washed it. Resealed the top.
Oh,
Yeah, you
good.
have to.
Julia said it got some ants in there, so I'm sure they dealt with that.
Ants and mice. Yeah, maybe
Mice.
you know the answer. How do you keep mice out of those things?
You have
You
to
live
seal
on
up.
a farm.
Yeah, you have to seal up all the
You live
holes.
on a farm.
Uh,
I don't know how you do that.
I tell you, can't you just get under there and see where they...
Mothballs? I don't know.
He could, but it would be a big
I
pain.
mean, they get in there and they die,
Oh,
or they build them.
Is it in one of your sheds or your?
It's just sitting out there in the pasture.
Oh, it's
sitting
in the
on
pasture.
dirt. Does sitting on dirt make it that much worse, you think, or would they?
Yeah, you have like
Well,
big
actually-
garages, right? You have like pole barns and stuff.
Well, we have a barn, but it's...
actually, dirt's
Well,
better
some-
than grass. I mean, for mice.
He knows what's
Yeah.
going on.
I mean, he said, yeah, unless we get it in a building and seal it up and shut the door.
Yeah.
But the lawnmowers, they have just, he's got a big lawnmower. We got a couple lawnmowers, and the mice get in there, and you'll see a nest under there, and they've taken all the cover for the wires.
Oh,
in the
right.
nest.
And
It's
in between the
rewired.
times he uses it. Oh.
And
I didn't
especially
know
off
you did
season. It's really, I said, surely somebody. I Googled it. And it was
Another-
something like
someone needs to have a
putting
dream.
leaves in it or
She's
Yeah.
like, I Googled it.
Put some
Gasoline
double mint
in a match.
double
That
mint
right.
gum in the cabinets.
Yeah. And they said, I like that.
Let's come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is the bees? Are the bees still happening right now? The bees.
Yeah,
the
she
bees?
has a lot. She might, I don't know if she's got maybe 12 hives or
Oh.
20. I don't even know.
She's amazing with that. When I called her today, she's like, I'm in the bees, so I don't have a hand. You're on speaker. I was like, okay.
Unfortunately, she says she's not going to have honey this year.
Oh no.
That she got into some kind of a problem with mites or something, and she treated them with something, and the timing was just wrong. She had to get rid of that honey because of the treatment.
Interesting.
But she's somebody's talked to her about it. They're going to take maybe just a total of 8 hives. I don't know. Up further, kind of northwestern state, not maybe 100 miles at most,
Okay.
where they have sourwood trees. And so they're going to take them up there in July.
Okay.
When apparently they bloom, and they'll just leave them there for about a month until the bees work that sourwood and fill her combs.
Wow.
That's
Give
amazing.
them back because sourwood brings good money.
Okay.
Something-
Sourwood honey.
It's just it's a blend
So instead of
sourwood
like
trees.
wildflower honey, it's
Yeah,
sourwood honey.
sourwood.
Okay.
She sells.
Very cool.
So it's a lot of work. They're going to put a bear fence around the area first.
Oh my gosh, right?
Well,
Bees-
bears love honey,
They
right?
love honey. They'll knock over a hive.
Uh-huh.
I'm really impressed that you're here right now.
I'm so glad to meet you. Oh,
We talk about you
I can't
all
even
the
believe
time.
you're here right now.
Okay, well,
Actually.
this, isn't it great? So, well, you don't know because you're not there yet, but you get my age. And add new dimension to your life. So, isn't that just the greatest thing?
Yes. I hear about you all the time.
But he's heard of you.
I hear about Patrick all the
Uh-huh.
time. Yeah, Patrick's got a camper out, or he's always, but you're not doing that anymore with that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We have one left.
Well, I saw this one out there, and I said,
No, that's not ours.
I said, you could be renting that out, and here I am staying.
No.
No, we're selling that first.
Okay.
Yeah, we have one left that we rent out, and it's perfect because the lawn business has picked up. We're getting calls left and right. Hey, can you? And he takes on what he can. But yeah, so the one RV, he does that on the weekends, and
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, do you have a problem getting and keeping good help?
he doesn't have any help. It's just him.
Just do it myself.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
But
he doesn't
yes
have.
is your answer.
Graham, when he had the knee surgery that we were talking about earlier, we tried to get help, and it actually ended up hurting us. One of the guys wrecked our truck,
Oh, yeah.
and
And they might not
another
be-
guy didn't do as good of a job as he did.
Yeah.
You know, little things.
Yeah. Well, we have crews. I mean, we got all this development going on around us. So, of course, all these developments, and they've got their homeowners stuff, and they keep their lawn. I mean, they got lawns this big. They got a house this big, and they got a lawn this big. But it's all kept up. You know, just.
Yep. Mhm.
I should become a dentist.
Eddie became a dentist for the same reason that you do what you do. He wanted to work for himself.
That's exactly
Didn't
right.
want to work for somebody else.
So my mom was a dental hygienist, my
Oh.
uncle was a dental hygienist, and my grandfather made teeth. He had a lab, and he had
Yeah,
like
that's
50
a
people
good
working for me. And then so my uncle ended up making teeth after my grandpa died.
Mm-hmm.
And so my grandfather...
Uncle Rob?
Yeah.
Oh.
My grandfather reminds me of your husband because he loved to fish, loved to golf, loved to hunt, he had a plane, he had all that stuff.
He
Property.
didn't like to golf. I didn't think that he'd be able to finish dental school because I didn't play bridge and he didn't play golf. I wasn't sure they were going to ever join the field. You know, it's just, we never
Well, his
did.
wife played bridge. He played pinochle.
Yeah.
I don't know,
No,
it's
Eddie
just-
played poker in a minute.
Yeah.
He had a little poker group.
So my grandfather reminded me of your life.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you might have grown up with that whole lot, but you decide it's setting goals, and you know, just. And my middle son sees it more now. I mean, Wright was the one who had lots of problems as far as.
And
coming
he's the
along
one that
with
went
it.
to India sometimes?
Yes,
Okay.
that wasn't his brother.
No, I know. I was
know
just
what you
making
mean.
sure I had the right
But
son.
he had problems coming up when he was, you know, drugs and alcohol both. But he just is the one who, he is so many things about Daddy that come back to him.
Wow.
That's what Daddy would have done. That's
Wow.
what Daddy would have done. And he did house repairs, decks and stuff, and painting and stuff. It was just him and one other worker. One like he had this big company or something. But he did that, and we sold a piece of land.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids got some. Give it to them now while they're they're old enough to spend it wisely, but
Right.
they're not too old. They're not going to really enjoy
Yeah.
it. So he has gone down to this place at the beach that we have, and he bought him a little boat, and he bought another little boat. He's used a man who fished and was really into fishing and stuff, and had all his equipment and everything died, and so the man's wife sold this to Dwight. So he got a really good price. So he is now a licensed crab fisher.
Wow.
He got 60 crab pots,
That's awesome.
and he's just loving it. He sent me a picture every morning, sunrise, bodysuit,
Oh.
and
So that's what he's doing now.
he's a licensed crab fisher. He went to crab school, or what? He got it through the community college. And he
Yeah.
got, and he's
What a
loving
fun
it,
job.
Loving it.
Wow.
And he'll
I would
say-
love that.
And he'll say because of all those problems that sometimes kids have growing up and the family relationship, parents, it's pretty rough. And he has said several times, I think Daddy would be proud of this.
Oh.
And so he has that satisfaction
Yeah.
Yeah.
that.
Well,
and yeah.
so my grandfather, I mean, he had a son and 2 daughters.
I'm stealing your water, babe.
And what?
I'm stealing your water.
And he was very hard on his son because his expectations were really high, obviously. And so my uncle never felt like he was good enough for my grandfather. And so that relationship was just rough for the whole time. But my mom became a dental hygienist. And
His
then
sister, right?
his sister.
Yeah.
And then my aunt. I don't even know what my aunt did for a living.
You talking about Cheryl?
Yeah.
Huh.
She a teacher?
I have no idea.
Well, he was a teacher. Anyway, we just went and saw her because she's not doing it.
Yeah. She lives in Sarasota, near there.
That's one
But I guess the whole thing I'm getting down to was my grandfather was very hard on his kids because he grew up rough too. But then he had what he had. He built he didn't even have a college degree or anything. He worked at this dental lab and swept floors and stuff, and then built his way up and ended up making teeth and just.
Doing well.
great career.
Yeah, he did.
But he never graduated high school.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
Didn't have to. He's
No, he didn't.
OJT.
But it was rough.
Well, Dwight's working down. One thing he's doing down there on the coast a lot is, along with this crabbing and stuff, is he's working with alcoholic treatment centers.
Wow.
He says down there on the coast, which is, right. It's the education. I mean, they're like anybody else, but they're fishermen. Their education is not foremost in there. Some of them.
It wasn't for
kind of,
Peter.
some of them kind of have rough lives.
Yeah.
Alcohol, big part. He just
Yep.
said drugs is rampant down there.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome that
trying
he's
to-
doing
Trying to do that part. What he wants to do, he wants to go back to India.
that. Wow.
But he says he can't do it until COVID gets better.
What does he want to do over there?
He says alcoholism in India is rampant too,
Okay.
and he says they don't have AA groups.
Okay. So he
He
wants.
wants to take a bunch of AA.
Wow.
He wants to mentor some people to start some.
That's
AA
amazing.
groups.
Wow.
He said he didn't know if he ever get back, but
Wow.
and just to see somebody's life who's has felt like they really didn't ever measure up.
Mm.
To look in the mirror and say, I do.
Yeah. And now he's doing something about it. Good for him.
All right. So that's that son, and then how many other sons do you have?
One who was surveyor.
Okay.
He got married like y'all did right out of high school. Weren't y'all just babies?
No, we weren't. No, we
Well, through church.
How old were? We were 28
Oh, yeah.
when we
well,
met.
I was thinking that
Yeah.
y'all got married.
No, Kirsten and Tristan got married young,
Okay.
but not out of high school.
I don't know who I'm thinking about who got married.
Mm-mm.
Really. Well, yeah.
So this son, he lives by you, right?
They all do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Except that Dwight has now pretty much moved to the coast.
Is he staying in the beach house?
Mm-hmm.
Is the roof fixed? I remember when we were there.
We had, insurance took care of it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so
we got
good.
Insurance put us a new roof on there.
Yay.
So
It's
who
such
has
a beautiful
the
house,
land
babe.
that lives by you? Does one of your sons live on some property by you or something?
No, Nelson lives about 5 miles down the road.
Okay.
But that land out there that I've got is when they sold us that land, it had originally been a 60-acre farm, and then when we bought that house out there, they would only sell us about a little less than 10 acres. But then the people that owned it, her husband died, and I said, if you ever want to sell it, I would like to put this back together if we can. And she did.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now we've got
Okay.
agriculture. We got a pretty sign up there, volunteer agriculture.
Yes.
But somebody, we don't do it, but somebody grows Coastal Bermuda hay
Really?
on it, and so that qualifies us for agriculture tax, which can take it down to like
Yes.
a quarter.
Nice.
Julia was telling me something about clover. You were growing clover?
She's
She
growing
said that?
clover for bees.
Oh,
red
for the
clover.
bees. Okay.
The deer
So
think
that's
it's
not to
really-
do with the
the deers
agriculture.
love it.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah, she's growing it. She grows that for the bees.
Okay.
She's planting something else right now, I think. She works hard. Have you seen her on her skid steer?
Yes. And in her
Richard-
suit.
Richard said I had never seen anybody that can smooth dirt like she does with a skid steer. She did.
That's so awesome. Wow. Well, I remember when they moved. I mean, to be there for you. You
Yeah,
know.
it was really a great time. And, Julie and her dad had been, what's the word?
At odds?
At odds,
Estranged or-
estranged
Yeah.
for several years, but she came before she came down here.
Mhm.
And he'd had a stroke when she came up there. When they came back, he'd had a stroke, and it was in her. I shouldn't say that, but I mean, he didn't really remember that. And so
Oh.
things were pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
I think I do remember her saying that. Wow. That's
So
I remember the-
get straight. It's nice.
wow.
I remember we used to go to a book group together. We would all read. This was like for at least a year. We would read a book and then get together and talk about it. We were all parents of young kids. And that's when Julia and Richard and Patrick and I became close friends.
Okay.
Because we were like, how can we help our kids? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, we need
yes.
help. Remember at the La Rocas?
Yeah.
And
So were y'all at what's the church?
the Foundry.
No, before that.
Oh, ICOC.
Metro.
Oh, sorry, it's the same church. They
Okay,
just
but
changed
I
the
went to
name.
I mean, I love this, the Metro.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dan Holland.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my
That's where,
gosh.
yes.
Wow, she just pulled that out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got some of his takes.
So, right? He was the preacher when we.
He's
My
good.
God.
Yes.
She just pulled that out.
I know.
Yeah, but I mean, he's what I remember.
That's how, yeah,
And
things
you know,
have changed.
And he says that was when Richard and Drew got married, and that's when Dan.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been a lot of changes. I guess,
There-
since then.
We were on like our fifth.
And I,
fifth
it
preacher.
Just, and then when Barb died, it just really, really just hurt Julie. Barb died.
Yeah, Goldberg. Yeah. I don't know if you know about that, but they were at the
I
Tampa
didn't know
church.
You knew that her. Wow, I didn't know you knew.
Well,
Because Julie
Andrew,
knew her.
Barb, and
Andrew,
yeah.
Andrew gave Julie away.
yeah.
Oh my gosh! Wow, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Oh, wow. See, I didn't know how close you were to all that. Wow.
Yeah, that was back when, before Julie was in a relationship or anything, and I
Yeah.
would come down a couple of times
Yeah.
to visit her, and we'd go to church with her.
Wow.
And
Wow.
those were good times.
Man,
I just,
you knew
I'll never
stuff-
forget
you knew
Julia.
stuff back when we
Yeah.
was-
Yeah.
So-
Julia's like, I'm moving to North Carolina. And I was so Kirsten and I were both just, we were pretty, I don't want to say devastated, but we were sad.
That breaking that.
But we knew that it was a good thing that she was going to be with you.
Reason.
I said, well, if y'all want to live in the basement.
Yes,
And
yes.
they still living in the basement. I mean, I'm upstairs in this house, 2 stories.
But they've
But
made the
Destiny had
basement
one
pretty
room.
awesome.
Destiny kind of had the upstairs.
Yeah, she
floor.
did.
But I've got the whole upstairs and they're downstairs. And someday when I'm gone, just watch it, stand back, because Julie gonna be knocking walls out. she wants to knock some walls out. I said, I don't care, do it now. I don't care. But between where the dogs are, we can't. We have to keep them separate.
Yeah.
They will absolutely.
You talking about Katie and Skeeter?
Spunky.
Oh, Spunky. I love Spunky.
Yeah.
Skeeter was my dog growing up. I love Spunky. I wish he
They
wasn't
would
a.
kill each other.
Yeah, that stinks.
Literally. I don't know why. It's just a territorial
Yeah.
thing, I guess. But
Yeah.
they don't even know. And it's now, if in the house, if say Spunk got in the trash or something, I'd say, if I said, Spunk, get out of there. Katie, if Katie hears you criticize, yelling at, even outside, or I'll say, Spunk, get over here. Oh boy, I'll get him. Just stand back, Graham. I got him. I'll get him. I mean, they just looking for a fight.
I love Spunky because he was there when we first started coming. And he was just.
Yeah, he loved it.
Katie's awesome too.
Anybody upstairs on that top floor, he'll sleep on that top step the whole time.
Yes.
My Destiny's there, he's up there.
Aw.
Oh, Destiny, I haven't seen her. Seems like a couple
She'll be here
years.
Thursday night, so you gotta get home as soon as you can. Yeah. Sierra's gonna be here with Arturo.
I want to meet Arturo.
Yes.
I know him too.
Yep. Right?
Yeah.
He's been around for
He has.
And Destiny's got her Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Laduro.
So, and we haven't met him.
No.
I asked her if she wanted to bring him, and I don't think he can come.
No, he's going down to see his family.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I think his. I'm not getting me some.
You said
his
his.
mom from Argentina and his dad from
You got me.
Cuba or
No
Puerto Rico
idea.
or something like that. They had come from somewhere. Got 3 brothers. They're pretty tight family.
Oh, that's good.
Excuse me. They seem to be. I think Mom likes Destiny.
That's
I think
good.
She thinks Destiny probably be good for Alex.
Well, they've been together, what, 2 years, you said?
She said to me, I said, so how y'all doing? She said, we're doing good. I said, are y'all serious? She said, yes.
So planning to get married.
I don't know. She said, something said that if we ever, she said we came by a house and it was a Spanish architecture. It had
Oh, I love
the metal
that.
around the windows like a,
The scroll.
Yeah. And she said, yeah, Alex and I both like Spanish. If we get married, we're going to have Spanish. Mom comes up. Mom's got her boys.
Yeah.
And she comes up and cooks for them. They come fairly often. She cooks for them, but they all cook. Those boys cook. And I think the youngest was just graduated from high school this year. He's going to Jacksonville.
Oh.
Florida State.
Florida State, I thought was. Oh, UF is in Gainesville. Florida State, maybe? I should know this.
Wherever.
Sadly, I do not.
I think that's what she was. I don't know if she was really sure where he was going, but I said, well, that's kind of far away from Mama. She said, yeah.
Aw.
But,
Man, I tell my girls, Sydney and I were just talking today, like, you know what, you can live with me forever. I'm cool with it. And I asked Sierra the other day, I'm like, so, when are you planning on moving out? Not that I want her to, I just need some preparation, or she's gonna, my heart's gonna break, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking it's gonna be like a year. She's like, Mom, I don't know.
She's not pushing it.
Oh, no. And she knows I don't. I started empty nesting when I was on my way home from the hospital with them as newborns. You know, I mean, I need some preparation. Right, Sydney?
Daddy go.
To the bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, so are they serious, or they just
Yeah.
putting their feet on the
Yeah, very serious.